What's good? It's your girl D, back with a story time. So I was in one of my Facebook groups, because I'm part of like 25, and one of the young ladies said, tell me about the worst date you ever had. And I said to myself, you know what? The worst date that I've ever had in my entire life, I can't type it out. I need to like film this. So we're going to take you back to the summer of 2006 here in Kansas City. And anyone who is from Kansas City knows that the weather is extreme, but usually July it's pretty rock solid and is hot as hell. I was working at, and since I no longer work there, I can go ahead and state, I was working at US Bank as a teller, and this tall lanky guy comes in and has this 5-gallon bucket full of change. And so I'm also going to try this Lancome Energy UV, the illuminating and anti-fatigue cooling eye gel. So y'all know me, I have to be doing like 3 things at once. Anyways, so ooh, it has these little balls. Anyways, so he comes in and oh, I see, squeeze it and it's got the balls to help. Oh, that's a sensation. All right. So he comes in and he's all flirtatious and stuff, and I low-key have a soft spot for nerds, and he is very, very nerdy, perpetuated the nerdy appearance very, very well. This is interesting how this feels. And so I had made a joke like, you keep running all this coin, you might actually have enough so we can go on a date. And he's like, I don't know about all that. And so he wound up having like $100 worth of coin, and I told him what his total was, and he was laughing about it. And then finally at the end of his transaction, he's like, you know what, I like you, you're beautiful, you're smart, can I have your phone number? I'd love to call you. And we're like, you know what, this is back, this things like this were the reason why I actually don't date anyone that I meet at work now. So I went ahead and gave him my number, and we talked for about a week daily. Had great conversation, and he finally asked me out and said he was planning this grand night for the both of us, and everything was going to be wonderful, but he wanted to keep all of it a surprise. And I was like, all right, cool. Now, something that you have to know going into this before we get deeper into the story. I consider myself to be an ugly duckling. I didn't fully realize my sex appeal and my actual beauty that I've had for years. I didn't actually come to realize it or play upon it until I was about 20. I did not have a lot of dating experience, and because I didn't have a lot of dating experience, I didn't have any kind of standards. And when I mean standards, I don't mean necessarily I was putting out, meaning what the fuck you should not tolerate. So here it is, middle of July, and he wants to go out on a Friday night. I'm all cute and everything. I did actually have sense enough to ask, do I need to meet you there, or did you want to pick me up? Because on a lot of first dates, especially now with online dating, a lot of first dates, I'm not going to let that man come anywhere near where it is that I live. I'm going to meet you wherever it is for safety reasons. But he said, go ahead and pick me up. So he drove a 1988 Buick, and this was 06, so it wasn't completely out of line or anything like that. But oh, wow, this gel is really nice, quite nice. It was definitely a hoopty, but I didn't realize how much of a hoopty it was until I got in the car. First, this is Kansas City. It's at least 90, it's still 90 degrees outside at 9 o'clock at night when it is that we were supposed to be leaving. And then second, the windows in the front didn't roll down. Third, because it is a hoopty, it didn't have air conditioning. And fourth, you could not go any further or any higher because of the transmission. Couldn't drive any faster than about 45 miles an hour. So I'm running shotgun in a hoopty with heat up front. The windows in the back at least went down, but also cars back then in the 80s and early 90s, because since the kids were the ones that would typically sit in the back seat, the windows didn't go all the way down, only like halfway. So that's the only air circulation we had. And I lived in Kansas City, Missouri. Nearby in the greater Kansas City metro is Overland Park, Kansas. Now, if you were to jump on the highway, it's about 15-minute drive depending upon how fast you're going. But because his car didn't go any further than 45 miles an hour, and it's hot, he actually wanted to take the back streets to Overland Park, which you could do. And so that was about a 40-minute ride, which I should have said to myself, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not really spoiled necessarily on air conditioning. I went for many years without air conditioning, but my windows went down. Like, that was the trade-off. You may not necessarily have air coming out of the vents, but you can definitely have air coming in from the front windows. So we get to the restaurant, and this was back when Dick Clark was still alive. Bless his heart. It was American Bandstand. And so we got there, and we're having, decent conversation, because again, I don't have any standards. So we're having decent conversation, and I asked, because I'm very conscious, and I didn't have a lot of experience with dating. So I asked, is there what am I allowed to have? Because yes, the guy is supposed to pay for the young lady, but also I'm conscious of the fact that since you clearly have this hoop, then maybe your pockets ain't really up to par. He said I could have whatever I want. So I was like, oh, shit, okay, I'm gonna get appetizer. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get appetizer too. He gets himself his appetizer, I get my appetizer, and he's like, oh, that looks wonderful. And so I was like, all right, cool. He's like, can I have some? Sure. I give him a chip. And then he's like, let me give you a chip. I was like, okay. All right. So he feeds me a nacho chip. Like, real cute. Just. And so I feed him one. And then finally he just leans across the table. He says, kiss me already. Listen, I know that I don't necessarily have the best of dating standards, but one thing that I definitely am not going to do is kiss you right here, right now, with nacho cheese breath. I was like, I don't kiss on the first date. No, not like that. No. So he was putting his feelings, which I understand, because he had this whole, what is that Disney movie where two dogs is trying to get that spaghetti and they did the little kiss, this meet in the middle. That's what he was imagining, and I'm not down for that. I think it was The Lady and the Tramp, maybe, might have been. So rest of the small talk was mediocre. Food came, all right, cool, things lightened up, better conversation came. Then the bill came, and when the bill came, he's like, so are we gonna go Dutch on this? Swell up, fam. Have whatever I wanted. And he's like, that's before I knew how expensive it was going to be. It was like a $50 bill, which, considering the state of the economy back then and the state of the economy now, $50 for a first date would be a little extreme. Okay, all right, cool. So, I go ahead, fork over my cash to pay my half of the bill. And from there, I should have said, I'd like to go home. But again, no standards. Even though I felt some type of way, no standards. And so I said, where are we going next? He said, it's a surprise. Now, this particular part of Overland Park was near a street called Metcalf, and Metcalf used to have a bowling alley down in a different area, which is where he wanted to go, but he didn't know exactly how far it was from where American Bandstand was. So he got lost while we're driving around in 90-degree heat at night in July in Kansas. And so he actually pulls over to a gas station to stop and ask for directions, because this is before smartphones existed. Now, your girl has always been up on technology, even with these damn flip phones. So I actually called 411, and they pulled out the GPS, they Googled the shit, and found where the bowling alley was. And so when I tell him that he actually needs to go down another 3.5 miles, he's like, you know what? You are real smart. You should be my girlfriend. Again, I should have said, take me home. This cooling gel is actually quite nice. My eyes feel lovely. I'm gonna use this again in the morning. This is nice. Let's see. Never-ending days. Your life is hectic and it shows. Say goodbye to urban fatigue and take action before fatigue takes its toll on your skin's appearance. This Energy to V anti-fatigue eye care combines a 3 steel balls. It actually says a 3 steel balls massaging tool. I think that's grammatically incorrect. It should say a 3 ball massaging tool, but whatever you want to call them. With 3 plant extracts. Melissa was a plant. Ginseng and cranberry. It helps fight against daily signs of fatigue. It smooths fine lines, illuminates dark circles, and helps reduce the appearance of puffiness. Morning and evening, apply skincare with a triple bead roller. See, that's so much better to say than balls. And then use your fingertips to spread the gel on the skin until absorption. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we've made it to the bowling alley finally, and he's so impressed with the fact that I was able to find where we were supposed to be that we go, and it's supposed to be, I think, what, $30 for the two of us, since it was like after cosmic bowling or whatever. And so he then gets into his wallet and pulls out $100 bill, and I'm like, motherfucker, I had to pay for my own food. And you sitting on this Benjamin this whole time. He's like, well, this was emergency money. This was emergency money. I didn't know, this is in a case of an emergency. So I proceeded to whoop his punk ass in bowling. Best 2 out of 3, not gonna lie. And from there, it was a little bit better. I got home about 1 o'clock in the morning, and conversation was all right, talking smack and everything about the bowling stuff. But got home about 1 o'clock because that's how motherfucking long it took to drive. And he asked if he could come in. I was like, no, you can't. And he's like, I'm not used to this. You're always let me come in on the first date. Well, I'm different. So, regrettably, I still gave him another chance after that, and had really whack sex too. Any and everyone who's ever had whack sex, like as a woman, and you're laying there, and the man's like, I'm sorry, this doesn't normally happen, or it's been a long time, or I'm excited, or it's cold in here, whatever. Watch the Cat Williams comedy special, where he talks about how you need to know what your stroke count is. That is vital information for your everyday life. But because I was so very embarrassed that I even let it get to the point of that, I stopped associating with him. It's like, can't see you anymore, don't want to see you anymore. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Thought everything was honky-dory. And then in 2007, I started with the gig, because I've been there for 9.5 years. And I was in training. I took a break on in one of the training classes that we had, and I went downstairs in the building because I said, I want to see where it is that I want to be working. I want to meet my new team members and everything. And so I go, and I was like, hi everybody, my name's Diana, I'm new. I just wanted to come meet you guys and see who I'll be working with. And I turn around, and there he was. And he's like, what are you doing here? I am in training. So you work at a different branch, or you work here? I work here. And there's your story time. He has long since departed the job. I know I've seen his profile on Plenty of Fish before, and I definitely swiped left. Because we have standards now, motherfucker. And we know what the fuck it is that you're capable of in every single capacity. And I don't care if it was 2 days ago or if it was 10 years ago, we don't fuck with you. And there's your story time. The end. Thanks for watching. Bye.